Okay, so the first thing I noticed with this equation is there's only one term that has a variable. So when there's only one term that has a variable, I can just isolate the variable and solve the equation that way. So that's one way to solve this. So I need to get this x squared by itself, so we divide by 36. And 4 goes into 16 and 36, so that fraction simplifies to 4/9. And then we're going to go ahead and square root both sides, and we know that when we use the square root property, we have to insert plus or minus. This is going to cancel, and we're going to get positive. The square root of 4/9 is 2/3, and we're going to get negative, because it's plus or minus. So we're going to get plus or minus 2/3, and that is our answer. So x equals 2/3, and x equals negative 2/3. Okay, so we see how to get our solution, 2/3 and negative 2/3, using this method, so feel free to stop the video, or if you want to go over it and get the same answer using a different method, another method I'm going to go over is using the quadratic formula. So to use a quadratic formula, it has to equal 0. And then I can plug in 36 for A. Whoops. For B, there is no B, and then the constant is negative 16. So I can plug that in into the quadratic formula. However, then I'm going to have some larger numbers to work with. So instead, since I notice, remember what you do to one side of the equation, you just do to all, I notice that 4 can go into 36 and a 16 and a 0. So I can divide everything by 4, now making my equation look like this. So now instead, I'm going to plug in 9 for A, 0 for B, and negative 4 for C. Okay, so now I'm going to have negative b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So now I'll go ahead and simplify that out. So we have 0 there, and then negative 4 times 9 times negative 4, which we would have positive 144. So now we're up to here, and now that we have our 3 numbers, now we're going to go ahead and simplify our radical, which what times itself is 144. That is 12, so I'm going to put a 12 there. And then our 2 answers would be 0 plus 12 divided by 18, and 0 minus 12 over divided by 8. Okay, so you've seen 2 ways to solve the same problem. I'm going to do it a third time, and this time I'm going to see if it could be factored. So to use factoring as a method, it has to equal 0. And then we factor the left side there. So there is a GCF, which is 4. And then now this is a difference of 2 squares. So 3x minus 2 times 3x plus 2. And now it's factored, so we're going to set each factor equal to 0. So 4 equals 0, that's not going to give us anything. 3x minus 2 equals 0, that is going to produce a solution, so we're going to add 2 to both sides. Then divide by 3. And we'll get x equals 2/3. And then here we're going to set it equal to 0. And we will get x equals negative 2/3. So again, third method, getting the exact same answers.